All right. Well, my it is my pleasure to introduce my very, very good friend, Tanya Brzezowski, who is, you guys, like the best of the best. Like there are so few people who have hit the milestones that she has hit. Circle of Honor in multiple categories, $3 million, 200 personal recruits. I mean, like does that like I'm in awe. I'm in awe. And at the same time, she's an amazing, genuine person who I am so lucky to call my friend. So, Tanya, I'm going to toss it to you.
Oh, thank you so much. And I feel very honored that Michael asked me to speak on this training. And you guys have an amazing, amazing leader. So thank you, Michael. So I am presenting the final training for this series, and it's focused on finishing your 90 days strong so that you can experience the success that you want. And if you're in your first 90 days, this is such a cool period because I don't think there's any other company that gives you so much in 90 days in addition to your commission check. So there are so many other bonuses that you really need to know that are at your fingertips if you want them. And you all are part of the new Consultant Rewards program. And there is no limit to how many Pampered Chef dollars you can earn. You get Pampered Chef dollars for every $12.50 that you sell. You get all the way to your 90-day end date, which you should know. That should be marked on your calendar. You get 100 Pampered Chef dollars for every recruit that you sign within that time who qualifies within their 30 days. And I had a couple of consultants that got $1,400, $1,500 of Pampered Chef money. And what's great about that, you can get it for more product, so stock your kitchen. You don't have to take that out of your commission. And they never expire. You can use them for supplies, or if you're really, really, really smart, you will be going to national conference and you can use them for registration. So that's at your fingertips. The other thing that is at your fingertips is $2,000 cash, okay? And the company offers it to you. So if people don't go for this, I mean, you're just saying no to $2,000. And that's through the Fast Track program. $500 if you promote. It's not your 90 days, but it's the end day of whatever month that happens on. So if your 90 days is the 15th of December, you have until the end of December to promote to a director team, and you'll get that first $500 cash bonus. So that is right at your fingertips. So that is why 90 days is so important. So if you're a seasoned consultant, and you're out of that, this is what's available to your consultants. And if you are a rock star new consultant in your 90 days, this is what's available to your new consultants who come in. And I'm going to tell you, I just got back from executive seminar. These consultants are promoting in record time. I mean, you're talking 30 days, they're promoting up a level. And then in the next 30 days, they're promoting up another level. So if you believe it can happen and you're willing to do what it takes, there is nothing that you can't achieve in this business. So the first thing that you need to know is, where do you want to be? Where do you want to be by your 90-day end date? Because if you have a clear vision, if you know exactly where you want to be, then you're going to be able to work on the actions that you need to take to make that happen. And what's great is you already know what actions that need to be taken. You already have the skills, because that was everything that was covered in the first 5 classes of this training. It is bookings, it is host coaching, it is recruiting, it is selling, it is customer care. So all of the skills that you learned in the first 5, if you know where you're going and you practice those skills over and over again, you're going to perfect them and you're going to move forward. So there is no magic pill. The first thing is you got to figure out where you're going to go. So you're not going to just get in your car and just start driving somewhere, right? If most people know where they're going, and then they are able to map out their course. And that's the same with this business. If you know exactly where you want to go, then we can work on your plan. So and I'm going to have you take a piece of paper out, because I'm going to have you jot down a couple things for me. And we're going to really look at where you want to be. Because that goal has to be something that you really want to work for. It can't be like, I want to be a director, but it's if you don't make it, it's okay. Then you don't really want it. So it has to be something, and I always say that you're so emotionally connected with when it comes to making the choice about whether you want to take action or not take action. You want it so bad that you're going to do what it takes. So something that you want, something that means a lot to you, and that is what I want you to really think about. And that is what we always call, what's your why? Because the why determines your drive. Okay? So what I want you to do is dream without obstacles. Okay? But at the end of your 90-day end date, like, what do you want your monthly commission to be? And what are you going to use it for? What do you want your monthly show schedule to look like? Now, it can be virtual shows, it can be cooking shows, or it can be a combination of both. So write down specifically, when you look at your calendar, what do you want that calendar to look like? How many personal recruits do you want by that 90-day end date? What do you want your title to be? You guys know you get a raise and a promotion with your very first active team member. Do you want to be a senior consultant? That's one. Do you want to share the business with 2 people and knock out $2,500 in team sales? You'll promote to team leader. That's a 2% increase in your own and their commission or their sales as well. Do you want to be a director? What about that $500 cash bonus? You guys have that spent yet? Where do you want your career sales to be by then? A lot of people don't realize this, but when you hit 15,000 in career sales, you get a 2% increase. So my team looks at, they want to be like a third of the way there or halfway there. Because your first promotion is in your hand. I mean, your first pay raise is in your hands, how quickly you get there. So map all that out, because once you know where you're going, then we can do the actions to get to that point, and you can track it. Okay? How many Pampered Chef dollars do you want in that account of yours? 1,500? That'll last a long time. I spend it really fast, but most people that sit there and wait. All right, so you guys all have that? I want you guys to just close your eyes and imagine all of that came true. Everything that is listed on that sheet, all of your goals are a reality at the end of 90 days. How are you going to feel when that commission is yours? How are you going to feel when you now are a senior consultant or a team leader or a director? How are you going to feel if you're a fast track director? Who's going to be really proud of you because you did that? The whole thing is, guys, we all start with the same kit. I started with the same kit, except mine wasn't as good as yours. We all have the same opportunities. We all have the same trainings. There is an executive that just promoted who has been with this company for 17 months. Okay? You guys there's some rocking and rolling going in this company, and you just have to decide if that goal is so important to you that you're going to do the steps that it takes to get it, because you hold it. You're in the driver's seat. Okay, you guys feeling pretty good? All right. So with that goal, now we can say, what does it take to get to that goal? what does it take in order for me to be able to move forward? And if you got 2 months left, break it down into maybe where do you want to be at the end of 60 days? Where do you want to be at the end of 90 days? You know, if you want to break it down into every 2 weeks, I like smaller goals because then I can track it. And if I'm a little off kilter, if my sales aren't where I need to be, if my bookings aren't where I need to be, I can make adjustments along the way instead of waiting till I hit that 90-day end date and I'm like, oh, I'm way far behind and now it's like crunch time. I don't work well under pressure. I get really stressed. So if I know my little baby goals, where I need to be, then I'm a little more apt to make those adjustments. And when I talk about the 90-day, as soon as you're done 90 days, you just got to make another 90 days. Okay? And because the whole business works on 90 days. So if you are, and I'm going to digress here a minute because I'm going to tell you the importance of 90 days. What you do this month affects your business in 90 days. So if you have a really bad October, you're probably not going to have a really good January. Okay? So if you have a really good November, you're probably going to have a good February. So when we talk about 90 days, it's being very good for 3 months in a row, and then your business is on a roll. So when you look at a 90-day plan, as soon as you're done, you need to develop another one. And of course, your goals are going to be different. All right, so what are we going to do? We know where we're going to go. So the next step is 2 things. You need to know when you are going to work. That is crucial. And then you need to know what you're going to focus on when you are working. So those 2 elements will get you to directorship faster than anything. It will get you to any goal if you are very focused on what matters. So you guys, anybody have a full-time job outside? Okay, so we do have, and so you're told when to go to work, right? And you're told what to do when you're there, right? And then you're told how much you make, right? So that's called a job. This is called a yob. It's a Y-O-B, your own business. You guys have a yob and you're your own boss. And so you guys are responsible for telling yourself when to go to work and what to do during that time. The great thing is then you get to decide what you get paid. Okay, so that is what's really, really important. The hours are flexible, but not optional. And sometimes we work harder to make somebody else rich than we do to make ourselves rich. We'll go the extra mile, work overtime. If we only did that in our own business, we'd be at the top of the company. Okay? The beauty of this job, this job, is that you can work it in very small pockets of time. You can work in as little as 15 to 30 minutes. What you can accomplish if you are focused in 15 minutes is unbelievable. So if you are, and you can work it anywhere. Okay, you could work it from work on 15 minutes on lunch hour. If you have, you have a little bit of time and you know exactly what you want to do and you have what you need, which is usually contacts, you can work 15 minutes and you can move your business forward, but it's called discipline. And sometimes it's doing the things that we really don't want to do, even though, we don't want to do them anyway. Okay, so the first tip is a calendar. So if you don't have a calendar yet, if you're not organized, this is the time to do it. Paper, if that's what works for you, then that's the right calendar. I finally moved to electronic calendar and I like it because it reminds me, like twice, that I need to do something. And so, as I said, there are no secrets. I have no secret pill. It is work, but I know what I need to do to get there. So when you have your calendar, if you have a consistent week or a consistent month, all your weeks look alike, schedule your month in 15 to 30 minute blocks of time. Schedule like 15, 30 minutes several times a day, if you can, to focus on Pampered Chef. And it could be during your lunch hour. If you take 15 minutes to focus on Pampered Chef, block that time off. If it's scheduled, it will get done. If you don't schedule it, you're going to fly by the seat of your pants. Okay, it could be if you have kids waiting in line to pick them up. I have a lot of my consultants that'll sit there. They have their contacts, they've got their phone, they sit there for a half hour, they work their business. It could be while your kids are in activities. They have their contacts, they've got their phone, they work their business. That way when they go home, they're not taking away from their family. Okay, so big thing, just block off times to work. The second thing is, what are you going to do in those times? So I'm going to give you the key areas of what you need to focus on. And they are, and we all heard of, income producing activities. Have you all heard of that? And you're like, what's income producing activity work? It is people work, not paperwork. Anything that involves people will move you forward. So when you're scheduling those blocks of time, the people work are what's going to move you to directorship. It's what's going to move you to higher sales. And then you have to do the paperwork. I mean, you have to do some other things. You have to catch up on Facebook, but you can do those in off times. You could do those while you're, do your packets while you're watching TV. You can delegate that. It doesn't need your expertise, but these areas do. So during those little blocks of time that you now have scheduled, there should be times for bookings, and that should almost be every single day. Every single day you should have bookings. Host coaching, you learned about that. Recruit leads, you learned about that. Customer care, you learned about that. These 4 areas will move your business forward faster than the speed of sound. And I'll give you some tips on that, but unless you have time set aside to do this and you are very focused, then nothing that I say is going to matter, because you're just going to be all over the place. You're going to be just doing things when you can, but not very intentionally. Does that make sense? All right. The other thing that you had was learning, and I really am going to put this in here in addition to bookings, host coaching, recruiting, customer care, because unless you take time to listen to audios, to listen to training calls, you're never going to advance in the business. But I learned from a very good director who's one of my top directors. She's one of my newer ones. She listens to training calls every morning on the way to work. When she is walking, she listens to training calls. So those don't necessarily have to be blocked in, because you can do them alongside of another activity like exercising or walking. But those, I cannot tell you how important that is. If you're not recruiting enough, then that's what you should be listening to. If you're not booking enough, not selling enough, then that is going to be your whole goal for that day or that week. All right, so focusing, okay, so bookings. So this is what I really want to show you, the power of 15 minutes. All right, if you had 15 minutes, you had all your contacts, do you guys think that you could do a lot of booking connections? Okay, remember, we don't all just do the phone anymore. Some of us do. But you're talking text, you're talking Facebook message, you're talking email, and the return on those is really, really quick. So I'm going to show you the power of what 5 booking connections every day could mean for your business. And this is where it all starts, because if you don't have a full calendar, you will not be in front of enough people to offer the business, to get future bookings, and then ultimately the sales. All right, so 5 bookings a day, 2-way. That means you get a response, and you're logging all these so you can see how you're doing. That's 25 a week, right? You guys do that just 5 days a week. I'm giving you weekends off. For 1 whole year, if you did that, you would have made 1,300 contacts. Okay, 15 minutes a day, guys. The end of that, if 1 in 10, which I think that's low, because with virtuals now, people are more apt to jump on board. If 1 in 10 of them host shows, you have 130 new shows that you added to your schedule just by making contacts. And that does not include the shows that you are doing booked from those. Let's say you have a $500 show average, $65,000 in sales from working 15 minutes a day. Okay. It based on, 25% income, you're close to almost $17,000 in commission, guys. So is it worth it to make yourself do five contacts a day or 15 minutes every day on bookings? You will have a full calendar. To be in front, to have that many shows on your schedule, you're asking every single host if she ever thought about doing something like that. Your host is your number one recruit lead. When you guys have a full calendar like that, you're going to get 2 shows every single month, or 2 recruits every month. Because when people see that you are successful and they see that you're making money, they want to join successful people's teams. So if you book consistently like that, you're going to be glad to give away some shows because you're going to have too many to do yourself. So the bookings is key. Ask every host and ask every single customer if they've ever thought about doing something like that. You would love to have them on your team because you see the qualities in them that would make them a great consultant. And you guys learned all of that on the recruiting call. But the whole thing is, once you have a system and you have the shows, then you can put those actions into play. Okay. So I don't know why I write notes. Okay. So so it all works out. So bookings every single day. You guys starting to see your calendars come together? Okay. Maybe you do 2 15-minute bookings because you're so excited and now you want to sell 130,000 in a year. You guys, the sky's the limit. It all starts with you and that phone or texting and connecting, because you'll have enough people who will jump on board, who will book shows, who will buy. It's the numbers game. Okay. The other very strong piece of that calendar is host coaching. And you should have a block of that. Every single host deserves your attention. And I listened to that call. That was amazing. To have $1,000 show is what every host should have, the tools and the direction and the coaching from you to have that success. So when you spend a time every month or every week on host coaching, because that's all blocked in, you are making your money in that time. You go to the show to collect your commission. The recruit leads, some of them will not sign. They will not sign right now because life is, not at the right time. It might be later. So have a system that you keep track of them, and then every couple months reach out to them. And that's what that recruit lead block of time is to, have a certain schedule where, anybody, January, February, March, you follow up with them on a certain time. So you don't want to badger them every single month, but you do want to reach out to them every couple months just to say, I just wanted to let you know I'm still here. Just wanted to see if anything's changed. Would you like me to send you an updated catalog? Would you like me to keep you up to date on what the new consultant bonus is? It just lets them know. If you don't do that, they go to another show, they forget about you, they sign up with someone else. So just that block of time reminds you to follow up with recruit lead. Customer care, cannot say enough about it. You guys have, these people invested time, they invested money, in products through you, they bought from you. So the attitude of gratitude and letting them know you're there for them by following up, making sure they have recipes, making sure they don't have any questions, they will be your next host. They will be your next recruit leads because you'll keep Pampered Chef in front of them. So those are the main things that you need to have blocked out every single week. Make sure you're touching your business because those are key skills that are going to move you forward on any, recruiting, sales, host coaching. You'll be like 4 category achievers. Life happens, okay? You will have this master plan and things go awry and you don't get to do the things that are mapped out. So the whole thing is you either give up on your goal, which some people are like, oh, I can't do it. Or that goal is so important to you and you keep it in front of you that you find a way around it. You find a way to overcome any obstacle, any challenge to say, you know what, this is too important. I'm going to double up on my booking calls tomorrow because I didn't get to it today. Or you have a cancellation or two. That happens. You know, sometimes they come in threes and it's like, what's up with this? You know, do I have a sign outside my door? Get on the phone. You can wallow in it, you can get upset about it, or you can conquer it and make, 10 booking reach outs the next day. With virtuals, guys, it is so much easier to get bookings on the calendar. There is no reason. I watch these people's success, it's because they're determined. So when life happens, you make it work. You find a way around it and you make it happen. If you have a couple really low shows, do a host coaching training and coach those next two like they were your last shows. Coach them to get bookings, coach them to have $1,000 show, because that energy that you put into it is going to pay off. Okay. The one thing I will tell you that really helps, sometimes, it's hard. We're in business, we seem like we're in business by ourselves, but we're not. Okay, you're in business for yourself, but not by yourself. Find an accountability partner. Find someone who you can support and they can support you. So when, things aren't going right, you connect with each other, you talk each other, through the challenge, offer suggestions. They support you. They're very positive. That's very important in an accountability partner. They have to be positive. I can't even speak. They have to be focused. They have to have your best interest at heart. And so with that, I'm just going to show you real quick I'm all about keeping things in front of you. And I already said that this is, it's kind of a idea, and it's not mine because I wanted to use this more of a general, but it is a working goal board. So if you are a person that needs to have things in front of you and has to, when you accomplish something, you need to have something move. All right. So you put your goals in the center. So let's say it's 8 shows, 4,000 in sales. You always, always want 2 bookings from every show. If you don't get it, go find them. Okay, because 1 keeps you going, 2 keeps you growing. All right, and what your recruit goal is. So anytime you have a $500 show for that month, you're going to move your little tab into the center. Okay, let's say you have a $1,000 show, you get to move 2 in the center, because then you know that you are on track for that goal. So it is a working goal board. All right, you can put trip points on here, put what trip points and then break it down into months so that you always know what's left. Okay, and then of course 2 bookings. So each time you get 2 bookings, you move it in there. If you get 4 from one show, move those in the center. And at the end of the month, if you still have stuff on the outside, you don't ignore it. You work double time next month, because to keep on track with your goal, you can't let something go when you didn't reach it. Okay, so if I have 2 recruits as my goal and I only recruit 1, next month I have to recruit 3. Do you guys like that?
Yes.
Okay, all right, that's all I have. Did I do good? 20? Because we started late, maybe 25.
You did amazing.
Okay. Phew.
You did really amazing. And I'm going to be really respectful of everyone's time, but I'm going to tell you that one of the things that I love about how simple you can break things down, because I've heard you do this in a number of different ways, is we don't go out and do big sales and big recruiting, and you didn't hit $3 million by going out and doing $1 million in sales. You went out and did that in a $500 show, and this $600 show, and that $700 show. You do it one step at a time, and you break it down and make it happen.
But that's all it is. It's one step at a time. You can't go to the top if you don't take each step and do each step well. This business is a combo of everything. Sales, bookings.
Yeah. You're not an exec because you just walked into a show one day and recruited 20 people and sold $3 million worth of sales. And, you work this consistently, just like the rest of us do. And anyone who wants to set their mind to it and break it down like you have shown us how to do that can make that happen.
There's no secrets.
Yeah, I appreciate it. I really do. I really appreciate you sharing with all of us, because it helps me, and hopefully everyone else know how we can do the same.
Yep. Good. I'm glad you enjoyed it.
I did. Anybody have any questions for Tanya?
No, but I have to tell you, it was amazing. You talked about really breaking down the numbers, and you're like, all this will get you to $65,000. And I was like, holy cow, that's a trip, right? That's level 1 plus, right? Because level 1 right now is 56 for consultants, senior consultants, and team leaders. So that puts you working towards level 2 already without even, really doing, like, really going hard at your business. It's just working your business. So that was a mind-blowing moment for me, because I was like, well, dang, there's a trip I never really wanted to, like, I wasn't striving towards. Mine was just to get out of the house and stuff like that years ago. Now it's totally different, but well, dang, that's just a huge added bonus. So I think that's something for new consultants really attainable then at that point.
Oh, good. Thanks. I love that. It's a slight edge if you ever get to read it. It's the power of doing those seemingly mundane tasks and the power of that they could make in your life. I think we have less than a minute, and then we have to go bye-byes, because that's
Yep, we do.
All right.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
That was my dog. He's so done with this.
Aww.
I saw 2 of them come in at different times in there. They must be behind you.
Oh, the little one's in here too. Oh, yeah. Oh, great. All right,
Thank
guys.
you so much, Tanya. I really
Thank
appreciate
you.
it.
All right, bye-bye. Come on.
All right.
Bye.
Thanks, guys. Have a good night.
Thank you.